showing me you care, then we'll rid the chains that bind me in the land we call the land of the free. Yeah. The free. And the home of the free. Yeah. Only the strong can survive the free. Got to be strong to stay alive. Yeah. Little diddly. Boobly da doodly die. So diddly dee bum biddly bum die. Bum diddly to lie low. But they get give up baby bum bee. Bleed doodly.
Again, that is early Lettucey, and not even her first independent album, which is something else to just take into consideration. Lettucey was working the underground circuit well before she got her first major label deal. And so if you can find it, it is a highly, highly recommended project. It's titled Feeling Orange, but Sometimes Blue, and that song is called Land of the Free. And, Memorial Day is a time where we are supposed to honor the sacrifice of men and women who served in our armed forces and giving their lives toward keeping us safe, keeping us free in so many levels. Many of us have stories of elders in our family, ancestors who were a part of that conversation in any number of international conflicts. And as Trump is currently meeting with NATO, the G7,
y'all got to pay y'all bills.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna push you out of the way now. Come on now, you got to give me some money so I can get more bombs and protect all y'all, because I am your savior here. And meanwhile, cut out all the education and food
and all of the other domestic stuff.
I'm gonna let all my people starve, but I want your money.
Yeah, make sure, because we're not trying to fight for you unless you paid up.
Well, I watched the video. I love how they cut to all the reactions. They had all people that
and then was like,
all right, so what time does his plane leave?
Seriously.
What hotel is he staying in?
For those of you who have no idea what Mike is talking about right now, go to my personal Facebook page, because I choose what I share on the on our Word Facebook page. And some of the things I put on my page might be a little less appropriate, but I have both the clip of him pushing the Prime Minister of Montenegro out of the way so he could get to the front of the group for the group photo. And I don't think I have the clip where he's chastising people for not being paid up on their NATO dues.
We would have $18 billion more to protect y'all, and meanwhile he's cutting all the money. But the reactions of the people, that's where when they do the documentary, when Oliver Stone gets around to making this movie, it's one thing to be like in your house talking all that stuff.
Yeah, I know, but he's in Italy.
But to go over there, like he's like, oh my goodness.
It is something to see, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say. But how Mike?
White privilege at its full.
Man, he is so up to his eyebrows in it, or up to that mess that he has on top of his head.
They tell him what to say. I mean, obviously he's being prodded into some of this.
He doesn't ad-lib well at all. And it's always with his extremely limited vocabulary, where he tried that when he called the people that caused the Manchester, England bombing losers, and he did it with a little bit of verve, 3 separate times. Like you couldn't think of assassins. I mean, you know, even if you wanted to get cute, it was just losers. I was like, oh my God, this man. Well, but anyway, woosah.
You know,
we're here to talk about black folks.
You reap what you sow,
and we're here to talk about film and television.
So all right, celebrating people. I'll save the movie review for the last half. So all right, so celebrate 2 big birthdays today. Friday, May 26th.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Pam Grier.
Woohoo! Diva.
Still looking good.
Yes, she's beautiful.
Still looking good. One of my favorite all-time actresses, black, white, or indifferent, and just had the privilege of interviewing her twice. So that's off my bucket list.
Yes, and for those people who don't know, she's actually pretty active on social media. She lives on a horse ranch now in
Denver. Yeah,
Denver. Yeah, it was like right outside of Denver in Colorado. So for those people who might think that some of that sort of action hero-ness or that back to nature thing that she projected into our films back in the day was just for play. No, that's really what she does. She's a very big animal advocate.
Yeah.
So that's the life she's living right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy birthday to her, and then the other person that's still on my bucket list is Philip Michael Thomas. Happy birthday, 68 years old, Philip Michael Thomas.
He's one of the first ones that made the whole pretty boy look in contemporary film something real popular.
Yeah,
because he was fine in Sparkle. God bless him.
Sparkle, and then Ricardo Tubbs.
Yes, but but that whole 80s thing with the Miami look, with the chest hairs all bare, tank top under suits and everything. That look is extra special.
Well, there's a conspiracy theory there. The reason why Miami Vice got canceled was the sock industry. It was like a backlash. They said, like, look, y'all got to kill this.
Like the beef industry came after Oprah.
It was like Hanes is like, look, you got to cut out this Miami Vice because nobody's buying these socks.
Nobody's buying socks anymore.
They're just walking around sweaty feet and loafers.
Listen, can I just say though? I mean, I understand that Hollywood tries to cast big names in a lot of these films in order to push it forward. There is absolutely no comparison between the look of, and I'm not saying that neither one, that he's not a good looking brother. Okay. Jamie Foxx ain't Ricardo Tubbs. Like that just no. Yeah, and once you have established what the look is, then you need to be consistent with what you're looking for in terms of who's playing this between various media.
The salt and pepper. I honestly didn't see the Miami Vice.
Jamie Foxx is handsome. Do not get me wrong. I'm not disparaging him in any way. But if you take a role that Philip Michael Thomas made famous, and you're saying that he was supposed to be Cuban? What was he?
I never saw the movie. I just saw
the film.
Oh,
I mean, in the original
Tubbs?
show. Yeah,
I guess
he wasn't.
He
wasn't American. He wasn't fully American.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why they used him is because they thought he could kind of be Cuban or be island when he needed to be in order to help facilitate their tracking these drug transactions.
Okay. Well, all right. So
and Jamie, he could be Cuban, but not in the same sort of diverse look that Philip Michael Thomas brought.
Well, it's a reboot. I mean, they'll resell you anything if they could.
Colin Farrell and Don Johnson. That's not a stretch. That's a clearer kind of I get the type.
Well, there's a short list. I mean, who gonna get? Stoney Jackson. I mean, who's are out there that's gonna give you?
Ladies and gentlemen who are watching on Facebook Live, he says Stoney Jackson like Stoney Jackson was wearing his own natural curly hair. Now, Stoney Jackson was King Jerry Curl.
Yes. Well, so was the early Tubbs. He didn't have no fro in Miami Vice. That was all, 80s. Okay.
He had the super perm or whatever you want. Had the conker lean in Sparkle. I'm saying they was consistent with the look.
Okay. So you just want your pretty boys back.
I'm just saying, in that particular role, I would want.
There are a lot of people. Jamie Foxx does it for some people.
Younger folks like our generation. I had no idea about his relationship with Dionne Warwick until I started digging into it further, and the fact that he got a bajillion kids. Doesn't he have like 9 kids?
That I don't know. We're trying to. Maybe we can get him on the show.
That would be
the Dionne Warwick
cool.
connection, I'm a big fan of his, so I did, and I guess throughout the day I will do Philip Michael Thomas tweets.
Do you have any clip of him singing?
Living the book of my life.
I just thought I'd ask since we're going to be honoring him today.
All time, yes, we will. I will share some of the video. I will find Death Drug and put some of that on.
Oh,
but I also don't want to offend Philip Michael Thomas, so I will also talk about his great roles in movies like Book of Numbers and Sparkle, of course.
Yes.
And all that stuff. But yeah, he was the first person to coin the phrase EGOT, I believe. That's the first person I ever heard say EGOT. Like when he was at the peak of his fame, he had a chain around his neck that said EGOT, right? And he said, "That's
I don't know what this means."
Well, he was dating Dion, right? So he's very much into spirituality and vision and all that kind of stuff, right? So his dream for his career was to win an Emmy, a Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
Oh.
So he said, "I'm the EGOT." And I don't know if he got any of those things.
I don't think he did.
But that was his.
And there are very few people who have.
Rita Moreno.
Rita Moreno.
Whoopi
Goldberg. But even Debbie Allen has gotten everything, I think. But no, I guess she doesn't have a Grammy. But she definitely has the Tony. She definitely has the Emmy.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is stuck. Otherwise, I would Google that for you. But yeah, it's a very prime list. But
yeah,
I mean, Philip Michael
short
Thomas.
list of folks.
Tracy Morgan would go on to sort of parody it in an episode of 30 Rock. But Philip Michael Thomas was the person that said, I'm going to have an EGOT before I'm done with it. And quite frankly, I mean, it's like TV stardom is like unlike any other kind of stardom.
Yeah.
And then in the 80s for minorities, it's a lot tougher because you can be. I mean, look at how many things Don Johnson did after Miami Vice, and then how few opportunities were there for Philip Michael Thomas, and a lot of people, it's arguable. I mean, they were. In some episodes, Philip Michael carried the show.
Yeah.
But it's just like having a big ego or any kind of positive image when you're in that system. I mean, it didn't work well for Eric Estrada either.
No, it did not.
Just
novellas brought him back
to be braggadocious. It doesn't necessarily.
And man, did I love me some Punch! Woo! Yeah. See, now you're digging into the whole development of my kind of idealized.
Oh, you had a Punch
relationship. No, I never had a Punch poster. I told you, Gregory Harrison was really the only TV star, Gonzo from Trapper John MD, for those of you who are trying to put these things together. He was really the only TV star that broke my music wall. Because from the very beginning with me, when it was like posters and ripping out of magazines or whatever, it was always the music people. But he was one that kind of broke that mold until Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan, in his early days at Chicago, was
just like the ball-headed.
Woo-wee. Have mercy.
Well, stay tuned, because the last third of the show we'll talk about Baywatch, and we'll continue the whole TV to movie adaptation.
So I'll save what I watched last night until we have that particular conversation, because it's interrelated. We've got to take our first break, ladies and gentlemen, but this is a holiday weekend, so I'm sure that Mike has information for us about things that we can do to spend some time and have a good time, relaxing.
A few things. There's a cool free screening tonight in West Philly. A few things that are happening. We'll talk about but next.
So we'll come back to that. If you're still, kind of on your phone or digging through and trying to figure out what you want to do to enjoy a little extra downtime, Mike's got your back. And we'll talk about that when we continue with this week's edition of Reelblack Radio, this pre-holiday edition as well. Stay tuned.
Goodman's Radio and TV service, located at 519 South 52nd Street, is known for fast, honest, and dependable service. Goodman specializes in repair for flat screens, as well as older model TVs and stereos. PA Lottery is also available. Ask about their senior citizens or word discounts for repairs only. Discounts cannot be combined. Goodman's will come to you, or you can come to them. Check them out on the web at goodmanstv.com or call 215-471-5800. That's 215-471-5800.
Acme Homeowners Insurance. How can I help you?
My air conditioner broke down. I need to make a claim.
Oh, I'm sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
What does it cover?
Home damage from things like lightning, meteors, even a fire-breathing dragon.
A dragon?
Yes, even a fire-breathing one.
But not my air conditioner.
Sorry.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-933-1452. Home insurance can cover what might happen. But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the washer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-933-1452. That's 1-800-933-1452. 1-800-933-1452.
A college security officer called to tell me there was a drinking party on campus. The officer said there had been excessive drinking, and our son was in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. He said my husband and I should come as soon as we could. I knew my son would face distractions and temptations when he went away to school. He already had unfortunate experiences with alcohol, and he was a little too good at fitting in with the crowd. I had no idea things could get so much worse, so fast. A nurse suggested we attend Al-Anon family groups. Even though our son claimed his drinking was no big deal, he said he was not an alcoholic and that he could quit whenever he wanted. I didn't want to go to an Al-Anon meeting, but I'm sure glad I went. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
You were listening to The Mojo on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Embrace and explore your black magic. From her debut album, solo album, Journey to Golden, that is vocalist Shantae Khan with a song called Free Your Dreams. And we want everyone to feel like you are in the space where you can go chasing after that thing that you want most. And you know, a lot of times we get so caught up in the rat race during our regular pacing, our regular lives, that I hope you have some extra time to do that over this long weekend as well. So, you know, sort of put your ducks in a row, get things in order for you to go chasing after those things that you really want, and then also spend some quality time with those that you care about as well, doing fun things like watching films and supporting our culture also.
Yeah, I haven't checked the weather. If it's raining like it was yesterday, it's definitely a Netflix Get Out. Oh, okay. For all those who tuned in last week, you see I'm a person of my word. The Get Out DVDs did come in.
I was like, I feel like, happy? Wait, no, hold it again, because right. I feel like Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids when they laugh. The people watching on Facebook Live will understand what I'm saying.
So yeah, anyway, Get Out is out now on Blu-ray, and DVD, and it ushers in sort of like, I would say, a renaissance of black film. I mean, it's like we've been getting black films for years, but nothing like a Get Out, nothing, and it's challenging not only the system, but it's challenging other artists to try to bring their A game. So with us on the line are two filmmakers, Howard University alum, also co-hosts of the Back of the Theater podcast series, and they're my good friends, Hans Charles and Menelik Lumumba.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
Hey, oh wow.
I was going to say, wait, did you see me shifting my chair just a little bit?
Well, Hans' voice changes on the radio. It's very weird.
Don't hate Menelik, don't do that.
So ID yourselves, do your radio voices, hi.
So my name is Hans Charles.
My name is Menelik Lumumba.
Yes, indeed, and we appreciate you both.
You've got a nasally, thing going on, and I got that, Quiet Storm situation going. Something like about that.
You know what? See, Hans, you're really trying to get on my good side, because I don't know if Mike told you that I'm born and raised in D.C. So between mention of the Quiet Storm, which originated, of course, on WHUR, and the fact that you both went to Howard University, this is a good vibe situation you all are creating on the air with me right now.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Okay, well. So I mean, also Hans he's been here many a time. He's come up to Black Star many a time.
I love Philly, love Black Star.
And I don't know if Menelik has made it up, but Hans, for those who don't know or haven't met him, major honor this past Oscar season, the cinematographer for the Academy Award nominated documentary 13th, directed by Ava DuVernay.
And it was beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's always amazing to me when I meet people who have seen the film and they comment on the cinematography, and I'm lucky enough to share that credit with Kira, who was with my co-cinematographer, and so I've always been excited about that, and it was just a great project to work on.
Right. Indeed. And so, Menelik, where are you from originally?
I'm actually born and raised in Denver, Colorado.
Really?
I heard you guys talk about Pam Grier.
Yes.
I have an embarrassing Pam Grier story.
Okay.
One that you want to share?
Oh, I have to. I don't think I even told Hans this. So Pam Grier's from Denver, and you would just see her around. Like she's a very approachable celebrity. And I happened to randomly see her one night in a Walgreens. It'd be like 10 at night. And she was right in front of like the Gatorades and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, I said this. I said, I really like the fruit punch flavor. I didn't introduce myself or anything. He looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. I slowly backed away.
That's enough to get you blocked on Twitter.
I felt so embarrassed.
Mike is bitter, but he's trying not to let it all out.
Yeah, Pam Grier blocked me on Twitter. I said it.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Mike D.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's sort of like maybe it was telepathy. She knows how much I love her, and she just said, "Nah, not this fool." Block. So, but you better not block me, Hans. You better not block me.
Nah.
But if you see her at the Walgreens, and thankfully it was in front of the Gatorade, not like some other aisle. But
right, it could have been much weirder.
Yes.
Personally, I like the.
Please, no details, Mike. Let it go. Let it ride.
We're just painting pictures on the radio.
Jamie Foxx didn't work in Miami Vice. I love Miami. I love Jamie Foxx. He's a handsome guy, but he was never juicy enough. Philip Michael Thomas had a natural juiciness. He was just naturally moist, and you could not take your eyes off him.
You all are not allowed to come to town anymore and not come hang out, because if you're making me laugh this hard 5 minutes into a discussion, we gotta hang out.
All right. Well, one angry black man. That's what they're talking about. Yes. Who's angry? Why are we so angry? I thought we supposed to. You can't get anywhere in this world being angry.
That's a great point, Mike. And the odd thing, I mean, the protagonist in this film is actually not that angry of a guy. When Hans when this whole thing came, when this whole 13th thing happened, Hans was really aloof about it. And he didn't really know how much his life was going to change. When I saw that film, I said, Hans, like, this is going to get nominated for an Oscar. Like, this is our shot. Let's make a movie. And he goes, nah, I don't know. So we'd actually been developing this, like, romantic comedy for about a year. And it was a little more expensive, and it was a little too high concept for our first feature. So I said, well, I had this idea about a movie kind of like 12 Angry Men, except it only takes place in a classroom. It's one class in real time. Hans literally laughed in my face.
I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard.
Only your friends will talk about you like that.
Oh, exactly.
So how did you sell Hans? Because you got to sell us. You got an Indiegogo going on right now, and we got.
Well, here's the thing you have to understand. Menelik has a deep academic background. Like his mother was a PhD. He's worked on college campuses his whole life, and I used to teach film at Howard University. I teach at George Mason University now, and I hate academics. Like, I genuinely. I love teaching, but I never liked school. So when he said something about a classroom, I was like, this is just about you and your ego. Like, this is nobody wants to watch it. And I stopped him. I was like, no, I don't want to do this film. And we actually went in development in another film. And he was like, this is not working out. He's like, Hans, I think this is the movie. I said, all right. Write some pages. I was like, because I'm not writing this. Like, because we co-write together.
Yeah. I
said, I'm not writing this. So he sends me 50 pages. And I was like, I was like, I don't hate it. I kind of... So I give him these notes. I mean, you have to know something about Menelik. Menelik is a prolific screenwriter. Like, he's got 8 screenplays under his belt. He writes really consistently. And, he doesn't take notes well, but I'm a pretty decent writer myself. So I give him these nice little notes, and he generally I'm on point. So I give him these notes, and he's like, okay. He goes and he finishes the screenplay. Takes none of my notes. I'm reading the draft he sent me. I'm in an airport. I'm in the airport lounge waiting to get on a plane. I get to the last page of the screenplay, and I stand up and start clapping.
Wow.
Ah.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is it. And I'm just like.
And have all the people sitting around you looking at you like, what in the world?
Okay, well, so, I mean, this is like a woke movie. I mean, now we're going to donate money to you guys. Like, I don't want to be like, my reputation's on the line. Like, you're not going to shoot up the whole classroom or something at the end because he's angry. Like,
it is a complete battle of ideas.
Okay.
A lot of it took place in my own personal experience. I went to a small, predominantly white liberal arts college, and I find myself often the only black male in the room, if not the only black person. And what happens is your ideas are no longer your ideas. You become the representative of your entire race.
Menelik, I went to Penn. I fully understand.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And there's a burden of that actually starts to impede your educational process. So we come upon this film about 8 weeks before our protagonist graduates, and he's gone through something traumatic that the entire campus knows about, so that everyone's kind of walking on eggshells, and we're in the middle of this African-American literature course. And you kind of I think every black student you talk to, especially if they went to white campuses, they all have a breaking point. Whether they graduated or not, there is a moment where the isolation became too much. So the idea of taking that isolation and stripping it all the way down, taking the college drama or college film concept all the way down to just about the classroom. So it's literally 12 people, just like in Sidney Lumet's 12 Angry Men. It's one professor and 11 students, all hashing out some very, very complicated texts. Zerno Hurst and James Baldwin, Ta-Nehisi Coates, August Wilson, all of these different literary themes under the context of the isolation and, by proxy, anger of our protagonist. So it all kind of lays out in 90 minutes because we're going to do it in real time.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Well, I will say that I love the premise of the film, but honestly, my freshman English seminar kind of saved me. It gave me a buffer from that, because my freshman English seminar was exploration of African American poetry taught by Elizabeth Alexander. And she had a Funkadelic quote at the top of the syllabus. And I said, I know I'm going to love this class. And it really did give me that foundation for how I approached all those feelings that you just described of what it would be like to be isolated in other classes and go through that academic career. But to have that as you know, kind of the premise for how I thought about language and culture and everything else was so necessary. So I love this. I love this.
Well, I think, and the great thing, too, is that this will be my first feature film, and I don't think I would actually do a concept like this without the technical expertise that Hans has. Hans has been on every type of movie set, from big budget to small budget. Hans has been to Africa shooting on the back of moving pickup trucks. He's put his life on the line for the cinema. So I know that we'll have all the production value, and I hate complimenting him. But the guy knows cinema. You know what I mean? He doesn't know fashion. But he has no stuff.
You can't take his notes.
Here we go again. There's the only people that love you will talk about you like this.
Come on, when it comes to fashion, I'm so on my game. Menelik, a non-fashion guy. He's always making fun of my tight pants.
Oh, so do you have plans for purchasing romp hymns in the future?
I'm not purchasing. I draw the line. That's where I say, I can let that trend pass.
Okay.
I'm a hater though. Like, look, if you wanna wear your romp him or romp her, hats off to you. But I'm definitely into fashion, and that's what Menelik does not do well. That's what I've told him, like, look, your life is gonna change. You're making your first feature. I think people will realize the talent that you are, but you just gotta dress better, bro. Like, you gotta get your life together in that way, and that's what we're going to work with. We're going to pray for the brother.
Well, maybe I'll find a suit with no socks.
Well, take it straight Miami Vice, yes.
Chest hair, Menelik. You have the chest hair situation go. I think if you did that, I think that's what would set it off.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So we're about to hit a break, but I want you to come back. But while we're talking about one angry black man, the main question, if I'm putting Indiegogo, if I'm putting my money in, is there a role in the film for Philip Michael Thomas?
No.
Like, under no uncertain circumstances, no.
Can't do
it. I thought we could squeeze him in. I think he could have a nice little cameo as the custodian
or something. They put David Hasselhoff in Baywatch. Come on. There's a way.
We'll bring him in for a read.
Look, if I'm signing up as executive producer on this, I want a role for Philip Michael Thomas. I know you don't have to listen to Hans. He's just the producer and the cinematographer. But if I'm putting my money up, you're gonna have to take some of these notes. The movie's not gonna be. Can you make him a little less angry?
Mike is big box office, so we got to at least give Mike a shot.
Can you make him a little less
angry, a little juicier?
Yeah, exactly. Box office.
Just less angry. We need to sell tickets.
And on that note, we're going to pause this entire exchange while we pay some more bills. But when we come back, we will rejoin with Hans, Menelik, Mike, and the rest of you as well. This is Reelblack Radio, part of our TGIF edition of The Mojo here on Word Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. We'll be right back.
Paid for by the Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association and your local Philadelphia bottlers with the American Beverage Association.
I'm used to working on a tight budget, and no matter what, I put my family first. So why won't city council members do the same for Philly? I recently heard that the city found tens of millions in new revenue. According to an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer, the city had a windfall of $54 million a year in new property taxes. And they found money for center city projects like a new wing at the Philadelphia Museum of Art and a park over I-95. With all this extra money floating around, why do we still need a beverage tax? It's time to put an end to the beverage tax and the pain it's causing working families and local businesses. It's time to put Philly first. Visit axthebevtax.com or contact your city council member today at 215-686-3442. Don't wait. Take action now. That's axthebevtax.com.
What better way to show someone you appreciate them? Feed them. Victoria's Kitchen and Catering has great catering packages for company cookouts, family reunions, birthdays, and more. Contact Victoria's Kitchen and Catering at 215-276-2170. That's 215-276-2170. And our #1 friendly staff will be ready to serve you. Victoria's Kitchen and Catering, serving up food, love, and happiness.
Get ready for a day of fun for everyone. Saturday, June 3rd at the 10th Annual Festival in the Park West Town Shopping Center at 52nd and Jefferson Streets. Bring family and friends for this incredible celebration of community, featuring live entertainment, including a performance by American Idol alum Chris Mency, R&B group Brotherly Love, the Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble, and the St. Thomas Gospel Choir. Get moving with Zumba, step teams, pony rides, a play zone, senior pavilion, food, and more. And to help you on the path to wellness, visit the Word Wellness Pavilion for health screenings, massages, resources, and information for optimal health and wellness. Be there for an afternoon of fun, Saturday, June 3rd in the Park West Town Shopping Center, 52nd and Jefferson Streets, beginning at 12 noon. This free event is brought to you by the Goldenberg Group, West Philadelphia Financial Services Institution, Progressive Change, Keystone First, Keystone VIP Choice, Always Best Care, Philadelphia City Council, the City of Philadelphia, and Word Radio. Presented by Brown's Family ShopRite, Hers, Dietz & Watson, Amoroso's, and Canada Dry.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
That's not far.
What are we gonna do? Hike?
Sure.
Are we there yet?
Yep. It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
What's up, y'all? This your man's Dwelle representing Detroit City, but I'm right here in Philly. When I'm in Philly, I'm checking out WURD.
After the last romance, then I wouldn't give it a second chance. They say if you seek, you're sure to find, and I know how true that is, 'cause the closer I get to you, baby, yeah, you're driving me clean out of my mind. I say, save me, somebody save me, anybody save me, somebody save me. Those who love always get the most. We're crying together from coast to coast, 'cause love makes me cold and hurt inside. These tears of violence are justified, baby.
From the Essential Nina Simone Collection Volume 2, that is a track called Save Me, and Mike and I were exchanging off mic what era we thought that came from, and some of the other Nina Simone music that we hold very dear. But, you know, all Philly connections, but, you know, a broader cultural conversation we are having, as we have, and I was going to say, please reintroduce our guests.
Well, with us on the line, just joining us for random movie talk at this point, are the makers of the upcoming feature film One Angry Black Man. But if I put my money in, they can't be too angry. I need to see my money back.
As Mike is still trying to scale it back. Yeah, but please give out the link though, so that people
go to Indigo. Well, you can tell them, Hans. How do we get this?
Yes.
Yeah. You go to Indiegogo.com, One Angry Black Man with a number one Angry Black Man, and please donate. We've had a great first couple of weeks, but we'd love to get some smaller denomination donors. Just want to get some support out there just in terms of raw numbers. And so we'd love for people to just support this effort. Every summer I've had the opportunity to be in Philly for the Black Star Film Festival. And I know how much Philly really loves independent black film, and Mike D, just what you're doing with Reelblack, I just know that Philly is definitely a cinema town, and the opportunity to shoot a few things in Philly. So I know how great of a movie town it is. So I'm so excited for the people out there.
But you have a global audience because we're online, and also this is going to be on our YouTube channel as well. So,
Indeed.
So everybody in the world can contribute.
And Hans, you're now required. We're following each other on Twitter. When you're in town for Reelblack this year, that means we actually have to get in front of the Step and Repeat and do a little interview, and chat face to face.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm always Menelek critiqued. I was just on a panel in New York, and Menelek saw it on Facebook, and he had a list of 10 critiques. It started with the pants.
Well, Hans, I don't mind. Look, Hans wears his tight pants very well. He has the body for it. The problem is he needs to contact the people to know what type of chairs he'll be sitting in. You know those high chairs?
So he's not showing all his business.
Well, it just didn't make any sense. I couldn't hear what Hans was saying. I couldn't stop looking at his legs. I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, if you want more of this, you have to tune into their podcast.
The podcast. Yeah, tell us about the podcast.
Well, Back in the Theater podcast, available on iTunes and all streaming services. This is another idea I pitched to Hans at first, and he laughed at me. Hans and I met at Howard back in 2005, 12 years ago now. We've literally just been arguing. That's kind of the dynamic of our relationship. That's kind of how we express love for one another. And I said, dude, let's do a podcast. And Hans goes, nobody will listen to that. And he hung up. He actually hung up on it. He was like, nah, that's a bad idea. Click. So after more convincing, we started to do it. At first, nobody was listening to it but our wives, and they thought it was bad.
And they stopped listening after 2 episodes.
Our wives are like, who? But they've actually had the unfortunate experience of hearing us argue for the last 10 years, so they weren't into it. But now we do, between 5,000 and 6,000 downloads a month. And then the audience is growing.
Yeah, big guests.
Film. We talk film, we talk current events, and sometimes if it's a slow news week, we'll just look at Black Twitter and see what's going on there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, before I jump into Baywatch, Black Twitter went crazy because they're not bringing back the Get Down.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's in a negative way.
Like something was taken from them.
Me and Hans Get Down at my house. We watched that together here in New Mexico.
Yeah, and I didn't get it. I didn't get what people were so excited about.
Oh, it was fun.
It was at best. It was. Look, I love the new faces. I really, really did enjoy the actors.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really mediocre and over the top. And
it was definitely over the top. But Baz Luhrmann is an over the top kind of dude.
Yeah, I'm just buzzing myself. I'm gonna.
Well, I'll loop it around to this. Like when we spoke. When you came to Black Star 2 years ago, we filmed you with Arthur Jafen. You were saying black film, as if you want to generalize black film, right? Film with black people hasn't really reached the saturation point where you can look at it as a critical mass. Yeah. But now it seems like in the last couple of years, things are changing to the point where you're seeing more. Netflix is definitely a big provider of images, and then it seems like stuff like Get Out is giving you the confidence to go out and make a One Angry Black Man. Do you think we've gotten to that tipping point yet in representation?
Yeah, but I think I would take it back to a different sort of demarcation point. I would say that the advent of the digital technology itself, so it's not necessarily the delivery service, which is its own set of complications and issues.
Right.
But I think it's in the production is really where what created the explosion in terms of content creation for people of color, because now we had the tools in our hands and we could do it at the pace that we chose. So we could either accelerate or decelerate. Film had a certain kind of slavery connection because it required you to do it at a certain pace. Mm-hmm. You had to keep that pace, and that pace didn't really change. So you could never go faster than the film could actually go through the camera. You couldn't go faster than you could get it developed. You could never go faster than the amount of copies you could make, and that's a chemical process. So it took a while to literally distribute it. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's that's the demarcation point. And so I think the fact that we can now you can actually make a movie with an iPhone, not that I would advertise that, but you can actually make a decent movie with an iPhone. I think that kind of changes the pace and the breadth of what we're seeing. So, and I think the ability to distribute it in a way that you want and to your core audience is the added bonus.
Right.
Like the fact that you have the Netflix of the world, you have HBO spinning off, you have Hulu, you have all these different. That's the bonus of what you got. The really change was the fact that anybody now can take a Red or a Canon or a Nikon or a Blackmagic camera and they can make something. That's such a monumental shift.
Like In the Morning, which is playing tonight on 34th
Absolutely.
and Filbert. Go see that. I just need to shout that out real quick. But I do need to tell people about Baywatch. So I had a chance to see it the other night. And as a 40-something-year-old black man, I'm like, save your money. Save your money. Just don't even bother. I mean, it's just what I hate about Hollywood is just completely reflected in Baywatch, which is just like the lowest common. There's 6 writers on this thing.
So
really?
Rock could save it.
Well, I'll get to it. But they literally spent 4 minutes on a scatological joke involving this guy and a beach chair. They literally 4 minutes on this one graphic.
And you know this because it was not engaging you at all, and you were watching the time tick by.
Well, the movie's entirely too long. It's an hour and 56 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like
this was definitely 80-minute territory.
And I'm just like, what's going to happen. There's really no story. It's just like The Rock going around on the beach and different, like Baywatch, like different little skits happen. And
I never watched the TV show.
You know, it's nice to see Hannibal Buress in it and stuff like that. I mean, the casting is clever. I mean, it's sort of like they just took everybody who's hot on Comedy Central and just threw them in the movie.
Although they won't look like The Rock does in board shorts. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there is. If you want the beefcake, you see The Rock, and then there's a big scene with Zach. He buffed up, or they put some CGI things on him or something. But
no, he buffed up.
He's
he's skinny. He's a little dude that just layered some muscle on top of him being a little dude, but he's still fine.
Well, if you want to see that, then that's great. I mean, there's no Tracy Bingham-esque thing. There's a black woman, but she's sort of more like, you don't really get to see her. But there's cheesecake and beefcake and little cameos and stuff, and it's a big testament to the power of The Rock that the movie was even halfway watchable, or even made, quite frankly, because there's really nothing there. And then at a certain point, they take The Rock's character out of the story for a good 10 or 15 minutes. Like the last part of the second act, he literally disappears from the film, and the movie just goes off. It has nowhere to go. Like the whole movie has to be carried by all the supporting characters, and it's just like, where are we going? Like, I just want to go home and watch Rush Hour 2. I mean, that's a far better film for that type of genre, where it's very predictable.
Yeah.
Like, you know who the evil people are and all this other stuff. But yeah. But yeah, we're in the summer territory. So the antidote to that is stuff like One Angry Black Man and just independent films. But I mean, the Hollywood system, it just seems like a lot of it's broken. You wouldn't even had Oscars if it wasn't for black folks last year. It seems like they're paying attention more. Would you agree?
But I think it's a cyclical trend. I think doesn't Hollywood do this every 10 to 12 years? I mean, last TV season we were all celebrating all these great black TV shows, yay! And then what happened this season?
None, or very few.
Canceling all of them.
Yeah,
they're canceled left and right. They're just falling like flies. Like boom, canceled. That's canceled. That's canceled. I think that's cyclical, and that's why I think us as audience members, and regardless if you're of color or not, if you want to see different things, I mean, the great thing about this era is you can kind of seek that out, and you have to force the Hollywood people to see, like, look, they're not watching on the screens that they're watching this other stuff, so we need to start consistently funding this other stuff,
Yeah. And the studios are going to have to decide what type of future they want to have, because they've kind of given away these smaller adult-driven material to the streaming services. They've given that to the HBOs, to the Netflixes of the world. And if you look at the summer lineup, it's literally a sequel, a comic book, a sequel, a comic book, a prequel. Where's the material for someone older than 15? And if they're deciding, because there's an argument really about, is it You know, is it that the studio system has given up on that material, or is it the flexibility and freedom that you can get with a Netflix or an HBO or Hulu? Is that more, you know, is that more appealing artistically?
Yeah, that was the big debate at Cannes this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Netflix killing the film industry? It's going to be very interesting for films with black people because, like the majority of the films with black folks at Sundance were picked up through Netflix, or they're not going to come out until much later in the year, like a Mudbound. So, you know, but next time I think is going to be the test because you have two. Like there have in the past there have been black films that have grossed $100 million, but there's never been any that have cost $100 million. And next year you have two predominantly black cast movies with $100 million budgets. So
is it Wrinkle in Time one of them, right?
Wrinkle in Time and Black Panther.
Black Panther, yeah.
Panther. Oh, nice.
You know, so so that'll be a test. I mean, I think audiences are certainly there, and the studios, you know, definitely have an obligation to promote these things. You know, so I think that'll be a big test for not only black film but for Hollywood to see how much it can bear. Because, yeah, quite frankly, you know, it's almost inviting audiences to stay at home if all they're going to give you is stuff where you basically seen the whole movie when you've seen the trailer.
But I mean, I think the great thing about that is that you do have the Amazons, the Hulus, the Netflix, so you don't mind staying home. Everybody's got at least a 40-inch TV at home that's a pretty good screen. So when people say cinema is dead, it's really a misnomer because the beauty of cinema was the magic of the screen, right? The clarity of the screen, and the televisions never matched. And now we have televisions that do that. We're getting up to 4K television. So and sound experience is amazing at home. Yes. So the cinematic magic is still there, right? It's the power of the studios that might be shifting from, if I don't see it, you know, in theaters, I can get very close to that experience at home. And I think that's what we need to recognize, the power of that.
Well, absolutely. So we have to wrap it up. We're at the end of the show. But One Angry Black Man. Now we want to make sure that this gets financed outside the system, because I'm telling you, if Netflix gets a hold of this, it's not going to be too angry and it's not going to be too black. It's going to be.
You're saying this to the man who did the cinematography for the Netflix film that was Oscar nominated.
Well, they paid for that up front. If you get the deal going in, they run with you. But if you go later, they'll be like, no, I think you need to do this and you need to do that. So we want to keep it angry, we want to keep it black, and we want you guys to come back on the show.
Yes, we do.
Let us know what your progress. But thank you so much.
Hit us up on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm at Twitter at CineClass. Backseat Theater is our podcast, Twitter and Instagram. Menelek is at Mumba50, MUMBA 50. And we love to interact with people on Twitter and Instagram. And please donate to One Angry Black Man with the number one Angry Black Man on Indiegogo. You can find us on Facebook as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's been fun, gentlemen. I look forward. I was like, so Menelik, you have to agree that you're coming to Black Star so we can all hang out.
No, I'm going to be there. Absolutely.
Are you sure? Sure.
You had to drag him to Sundance. No, he wasn't ready for that.
Drag Mike. See, Mike was a witness. I had to drag him to Sundance. Do you hear this, Stephanie?
I'm hearing it.
I'm a little reclusive.
He don't like to leave the house. And back of the theater podcast on Apple iTunes.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And for those, last thing I want to say, for those who were, I mentioned the Kevin Hart book signing. It is no longer at Temple University. They've moved it back to the free library, and it's a photo op. So you prepay $27, you get a pre-signed book and an opportunity to take a photo with Kevin Hart. So, and that's going to be on June 6th, and so all that information is on the free library's website.
Indeed. So those of you who want to support our Philadelphia's own, then that is how you will make it happen. This was fun, Mike.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Thank you for giving us some laughter and some great information going into our holiday weekend. When we come back, it'll be June.
Yes, it will. We'll be right into the summer. So yeah, follow me on Twitter today. I'll be doing Philip Michael Thomas birthday tweets, and I'm also going to give away a couple pair of tickets to see Captain Underpants. Kevin Hart, so.
Nice. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take our next break. We'll say bye to Mike and bye to those of you who are checking us out on Facebook Live. And when we come back, we are going to reconvene with a story that we brought you when we announced, the day that we announced our FM signal. Charles Lofton rejoins us to give us progress on the justice campaign that he has started in the name of his son Riley after the racist incident that that his son experienced in Northern California. So we'll get you into all of that when we return on the third hour of today's TGIF edition of The Mojo. Stay tuned.
Dr. Lay wants you to know that 2017 is